I want to thank everyone for all the comments and support for the TRON Ares review I did. I really appreciate it. There were some things I couldn't say in that review because I didn't want to ruin the movie for people who hadn't seen it. But some time has passed, and for those who still haven't seen the movie, I will be giving some spoilers, so I recommend clicking off until you've seen the film. So first off, this idea that the movie is woke just keeps going. There's a lot of people on the internet that say they hated the movie and that they wanted to walk out. Well, that's fine. Not everybody's gonna like it, and I will never tell anyone how to feel about a movie. But then there's this messaging that the Greta Lee character, Eve Kim, is some kind of Mary Sue girl boss. Okay, at one of the beginning scenes of the movie where we are introduced to Eve Kim, she's laser focused on finding the permanence code at an isolated mountain station. She realizes that she's been insensitive to her colleague by unintentionally ignoring him. What does she do? She walks over and apologizes. What Mary Sue apologizes for anything, let alone to a white male subordinate? None. And as far as girl bossing, she's barely involved in the day-to-day activities of the company and she wants to quit. The person who is essentially the face of the company is the chief technology officer, AJ, a man. And Eve is a damsel in distress in this movie. She is screwed and she knows it. She is helpless in the grid, and she is rescued by Ares, who is in the guise of a white male. She doesn't complain and she doesn't assert her dominance, and she's grateful for the help. And she takes life advice from Ares. I've even heard people criticizing that as woke. Have you ever considered the subtext humor in that scene? How many people do you know that drive around and have conversations with ChatGPT's voice avatar, especially women? I've had some people tell me it's their best friend, and I've heard some of these interactions, and it sounds kind of like this conversation. Now, I'm going to say what no one else will. The real reason why the CEO of ENCOM is a woman in this movie, and it has nothing to do with DEI. Jared Leto's character is the action hero in this movie, and it looks stupid with a guy on the back of a light jet. It might work for some comedy with Martin Lawrence, but not an action movie. Not to mention having him rescue a woman at least hints at romance, which might entice women to come to the theater. Unfortunately, it didn't work because the box office was bad for this film. It's the same thing in the Fantastic Four movie. Fans of the comic book were enraged when the movie swapped out Norrin Radd for a female Silver Surfer. Fans claimed it was DEI, and the Marvel people said it was from an obscure issue of the comic. Just my opinion, but I bet neither is true. I'm willing to bet that it was done to add romantic tension and sex appeal, and I think that's as deep as it goes. Now, as far as Eve Kim being Asian for the sake of a diverse cast, maybe, but consider how many Asian video game developers there are. Nintendo, Capcom, Square Enix, Bandai Namco, Sega, Konami, Tencent, and that's only a few of them. Not to mention the stereotype that Asian parents push their children to be high achievers. That would explain how both siblings were talented. And Asia represents about 60% of the world's population. Concerning Athena's character, was that a diverse hire? Yeah, probably, but it wouldn't have been a big deal if it wasn't for the casting choice. Jodie Turner-Smith comes with baggage. First off, Star Wars fans are repulsed by her because she played the lead space witch in The Acolyte. Plus, she goes around advocating for diversity in film, so it's hard to defend it. The weird thing is, I've seen interviews with her where she has normal makeup and she's smiling and looks very attractive. But for some reason in her movie roles, she has RBF all the time. Okay, let's imagine if Athena was cast by Zendaya. Not that she would accept the role, but hypothetically. We wouldn't hear a peep about diversity. Number one, Zendaya is hot. And number two, people actually go to the movies to see her. So this was just a bad casting choice, not because Jodie Turner-Smith did a bad job, but because of the controversy. Another comment I heard, not woke related, but a guy was complaining about the particle laser's 3D printing capability and saying it was stupid and how could that happen. He was also mocking the orange tree. For one thing, the digitizing laser was being developed in the original Tron movie and was being tested on an orange. That's why the script had Eve produce an orange tree. Can a DeLorean time travel to the 50s? Can a T-Rex be made from found DNA and walk modern day Earth? Not with our current technology. How could a Terminator change from liquid form to any shape? If we ever find the Ark of the Covenant, will the face melt off of anyone who sees it? I hope not. If we take away the fantasy element of these genres, we lose some of the best movies ever made. So it looks like we won't be getting another Tron film. It's too bad because it looked like there was full intention of addressing the legacy story. My guess is that the producers are trying to drum up some new excitement for the Tron franchise since the interest had grown ice cold. After getting a new audience, they could integrate some of the legacy continuation. It's too bad that didn't happen, but at least we have 3 Tron movies. Maybe we'll get a story-driven video game in the future. For now, I'll just imagine Sam and Cora living happily off the grid. Pardon the pun. Thanks for watching.